She's doing pretty good. Hello, good morning.
Is she fed?
She's fed reasonably recently. Okay, good morning. Today is Friday, October 10th. It's November 10th. It's the 21st of Cheshvan. Mark Cheshvan. I now have friends who are very much sticklers about this.
I'm one of them.
There's no such thing as Cheshvan.
It's true.
It's true, but okay.
Comes to the Akkadian.
It does. Okay, good morning. All right, say it again for this. The 10th of November. It's the 21st of Mar Cheshvan, and today's daf will be Makkot daf Hey. And yesterday we left off at the second Mishnah on Hey Amud Aleph, so we'll start from there. The Mishnah says, Ein haidim na'asim zomimim ad shiyuzmu atzman. So this would have been a good place to start, in a sense, because it actually introduces us to the concept of Eidim Zomimim, rather than teaching us first all of the exceptions to Eidim Zomimim before introducing the concept as a whole. But nonetheless, this is how Rabbi decided to organize the Mishnah. So it says the witnesses who are conspiring witnesses cannot be declared to be conspiratorial such that they will receive this reciprocal punishment until their testimony is proven to be conspiratorial through their own achiyuzmu atzman. They have to make themselves known to be conspiring. In what way? So the Mishnah says, Ketzad, how is that so? Amru me'idimanim beish ploni sheharegat hanefesh. They say, we're testifying about so-and-so, that he killed someone. So Amru lahem heyachatem me'idim shahari neherag ze o hahoreg ze haya imanu oto hayom b'makom ploni. So if other witnesses come and say, that's impossible, you can't be testifying to this murder because the murder victim or the murderer...
That's the answer to the question in the very beginning, the murder victim. It's not just the Eidim Zomimim.
Here we go, it's right here in the Mishnah. The murder victim or the murderer were with us in a different place at the same time. So Ein Elu Zomimim, those are not Eidim Zomimim. It turns out that we now have a testimony that contradicts or undermines their testimony, but they're not going to be executed for that. If the other witnesses come and say, you witnesses were with us in a different place on that day, then hare elu zomimim. So it's because their testimony is compromised by their own inability to have actually witnessed this event. It's not to do with whether or not they could have witnessed the murder, but specifically that they could not have been there for it.
Well, they still couldn't have been there for it if the Neharag was with that in the first case.
No, but that's undermining, did the murder take place or not, right? That's saying, oh, the person who you're saying was murdered was with us at the same time that you're claiming the murder took place. But the point is that under the Eidim Zomimim, you witnesses could not have witnessed what you claimed to have witnessed. Not the thing you claimed to have witnessed could not have happened. Those are two different kinds of claims, and we only care about the first one. Hachasha is contradiction, is proving the testimony false, right? So that would be a claim, but that doesn't earn you the punishment of the Eidim Zomimim. Okay. So if other witnesses come and testify about the second group of witnesses, or even now a fourth set of witnesses come and testify about the third set of witnesses, afilu mea, even 100 times, kulam yihargu. All of them are put to death because they're all, except the last set of witnesses, obviously, because each time a different set of witnesses has come and undermined their believability and their ability to have testified to what they claim to have testified. So they're all part of this conspiracy. Okay. So Rabbi Yehuda disagrees, and he says,
even at the end of the day, it was correct. That this guy did kill somebody.
Right. It could be reversed multiple times, right? So you can't. Right. This is the original. I don't know how to. Here, we're gonna have a murder. This is the murderer killing somebody. Okay, that's an arrow.
Our Linzer used to teach you, remedial.
Right, and now we have the witnesses here. This is group number 1. Now group number 2 comes, and they say, "Oh, imanu hayitem," so they make them zomimim. But then we can get a third group, and they can come and say to them, "Imanu hayitem," when you claimed imanu hayitem about them. So then their testimony will be true again, but it will jump many times back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because you're each time undermining the chain of believability.
Yeah, but wherever kulam yahargu.
Right.
Who's the kulam?
Okay, so according to Tanakama, actually everyone because they were part of a conspiracy, because these people said that you were
but
Imanu
number
Haytem.
2 was lying, though.
Well, we don't know, right? So at least
how would you kill number 1?
Okay, so this is Rabbi Yehuda's objection. But at least according to the Tanakhama, because everyone has some flaw in their testimony, or at some point in the chain was shown to have been flawed, even if it was by people who may have been lying. But the point is that this whole system undermines the testimony of all of them.
Okay, but there's a difference between saying killing. In other words,
So your objection is Rabbi Yehuda's objection. Rabbi Yehuda says istatiti. So the Gemara is going to flesh it out more. It'll become more clear. Okay, so Rabbi Yehuda Omer istatit hizo. That's an istatit. It's some kind of
cabal.
It's some kind of a cabal, some kind of a conspiracy. That is, each group is part of a bigger conspiracy. If they keep getting more people to say, "Oh, you were wrong, and you were wrong, and you were wrong," therefore, only the ones who actually came to try to put this guy to death, that's why they're going to be killed, because their testimony was about the actual crime. But everyone else is just somehow involved in some tangential way, so we don't care about it as much.
No, why don't you say just the opposite? Say just the last ones, because we know in other words, if no one came and disproved the last ones, right?
Well, we're gonna see. The
one right before,
we
know they're telling the truth. The last one, at least at this point. Which case we don't know about anyone before, but at least we know that number 10 doesn't mean that number 9 is lying, so we believe number 10 against number 9. So it should be. So I object. It should only be the last ones that are killed.
So we're gonna see how it comes up in the Gemara. Okay. So menahani mili. How do we know this? So Amar Rabbi Ada Damar Kra. Vihine eid sheker ha'ed sheker ana. So the testimony is a false testimony. So ad shetishaker gufa shel edu. The need is that the lying, the falsehood, has to exist or occupy the space of the core testimony. So this is specifically why the falsehood has to be found about where were these witnesses at the time when the crime took place, and could they have been witness to it or not, but not that who was the person involved and where were the those kinds of things. Oh, this person couldn't have been there is not a good enough undermine of the testimony. Basically the same idea learned from a different part of the parsha of Edom Zom. Okay, Amar Rava, like lasur, like to turn away, so that until it's been turned away. It's interesting because then the question becomes, right, according to Rav Ada, the emphasis is on the fact that it's sheker, and according to Rabbi Ishmael, it's not so much, it doesn't have to be sheker, total falsehood, it has to be sarah. There has to be some kind of a flaw, some kind of a turning aside within the truth of this testimony. That's enough to undermine it. So maybe it has the lower standard. Maybe it's just a different drasha. Anyway, okay. Amar Rava Baushnaim Amru b'Mizrach Bira Harag Ploni et HaNefesh. So 2 witnesses come and say, on the eastern side of this building, so and so killed someone. Uvaushnaim Amru b'Halav b'Marav Bira Imanu Hayitim. And then 2 more witnesses say, oh, you were on the western side of this building when you claim that this murder took place.
So what? They still could have seen it.
So now we say chazinan. So we can go and investigate whether you can see the eastern side of the building from the western side of the building. So we say ein elu zomim. Then they won't be zomim, because then it would be impossible. Like, it would have been possible that they could see from the western side of the building onto the eastern side of the building. And if it's impossible to see from side to side, hare elu zomim. So pshita, isn't that obvious that you should just investigate this question? So mahu detema lechush lenehora bari. We might have thought that we should be concerned about a case where the witnesses had very good eyesight. Kamash malan. So that's what this whole discussion is about. That actually we are not concerned about superhuman vision. We assess the case based on the normal circumstance. What's interesting then is you could have had witnesses who actually did see the murder, right? Here's the building, and the murder is over here, and they're over here, and they have, telescope X-ray vision, that they can see through the building or something, or the windows lined up perfectly, and they, or something. There's a tiny little sliver that they just happen to be standing exactly the right place or something, and we wouldn't care. So we would kill these people and save this person's life just because under normal circumstances. So again, maybe you have to investigate more carefully or something like that, but it's an interesting way.
Oh, it's interesting. I mean, you could just say, like, these guys have really good vision. Just like put someone else over there, let them, like, hold up how many fingers do you see? They get it right, then, then
right,
they could have seen it. But we don't do that, apparently.
We don't do that. we don't go back and revisit the case so much. But here it's interesting that what we revisit is basically, would a normal person have been able to see this from this position? Okay,
So the judges go back there or get witnesses?
I don't even think you need witnesses. They just sort of,
they guess.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it means. Oh, we go and see. Does it mean the judges have to go investigate? Do they need to get witnesses about it? I'm not sure. It doesn't say from the Gemara. It just says, chazinan. We're able to see whether it's true or not. So I don't know. So two witnesses come and say, in Surah, in the morning, someone, on Sunday morning, in Surah, someone killed someone. And then two more people come and say back that on Sunday you were with us in Neharda. So they say, we go and see, is it possible to travel from Surah to Neharda from the morning of one day until the evening of the same day? Lo havu zomimim. So then they won't be zomimim. If it's impossible to travel that distance, then they will be zomim. So pshita, so that's obvious. Should we be concerned about the flying camel? This becomes the source for all sorts of discussions about faster than camel travel, faster than horse travel, perhaps. But this is the Gemara here. I think it comes up in the end of Gittin, also the end of Sota, something like that. It was over a year ago in the Daf, 2 years ago. So it comes up every once in a while. The suggestion that Chazal were aware, perhaps theoretically, of some sort of magic carpet, some sort of faster than foot travel.
These things appear in the Bavli. They don't appear in the Yerushalmi. Exactly.
There you go. They're a little bit fanciful, but the idea is that should we be concerned about a very rare occurrence that would have enabled them to be there? We say no.
So these days that all goes away.
These days all goes away because the basic assumption is that there are all sorts of fast 500 miles per hour travel options. You take a train, you take a plane, you take even driving, and it gets into interesting questions about Chazal measured time in distances, right? We measure, we say 72 minutes. 72 minutes is the time it takes to walk for a meal. 18 minutes or 24 minutes or whatever. These are measurements based on a walking speed.
Light years.
So light years. So the question becomes, for example, something like, you have measurement for washing your hands before tefillah. You're supposed to, if it's 4 meal out of your way going forward and 1 meal out of your way
is it driving time now or is it
right? Does it go by distance or does it go by time? So Chazal, when they recorded those measurements, talked about measurements of time. Of distance.
Mm-hmm.
The distance that you would have to go out of your way. But if we drive now, to drive 4 meal is a short trip. So maybe we would be more machmir about those sort of things. It's an interesting question. Okay. Sorry, I lost the space. The Gamla Parcha Kamashul Amar Rava. So Rava said, two witnesses come and say on Sunday, so and so killed someone. And 2 more witnesses come and say, you were with us on Sunday. We had a barbecue. But we, the second set of witnesses, actually know that the same person committed a murder, the murder that you thought happened on Sunday, which you're falsely claiming, and we can prove that you were lying, but actually he killed him on Monday. Okay. Okay, so what do we say? Even if they say he killed him on Friday and you were with us on Sunday, that is the distance between the days could be multiple days. It could be 6 days later or something like that. Nonetheless, neharagin. Because at the time that he testified, that is that the time that these people testified, their testimony was going to be what killed this person, right? Mm-hmm. So they'll be killed, even though this person is still going to get the death penalty for the murder, because this person committed murder. These 2 witnesses testified that he committed murder, but we as if split the testimony into 2 parts. Number 1 part is that these are Eidim Zomimim. Number 2 is that this guy actually is a murderer. He just killed someone on a different day. Yeah.
What about the possibility that Eliyahu Hanavi appeared and resurrected the guy?
We don't say that. If we're not worried about the
Was,
Gamla Harcha,
was
we're
he
not
on the
worried
camel or not?
Okay. Okay. So what's this Mishnah come to teach us? So we have a Mishnah that's quoted from later on from tomorrow's daf. So therefore, one of the two groups of witnesses will be found to have been conspiring. He and the witness, that is the murderer and the witnesses, will both be executed. But the second group of witnesses will be off the hook. So seifa. So what about the seifa? So, but it does not apply if there had already been a Gemar Din about the murder case. That is, if the murder case had already been finalized, then why is that? Okay. So it's terichale. We need it to teach us this case. Two witnesses come and say, on Sunday, there was the Gemar Din, the final verdict for this case. Okay. And then two more people come and testify that you are actually with us somewhere else. But the court case actually was finalized on Friday. And even if they claim that it was on Monday, that Plony's court case was with final verdict. Then these, for such a case, if the Gemar Din was already finalized, the Zomamim, who've been proved to have been conspiring, right? They could not have been there at the time that the Gemar Din happened. Why? Because at the time that they're testifying about, he was already a convicted. It was already the Gemar Din. He's already a dead man walking. That is what they're not testifying about a crime. They're testifying that the verdict was issued from the court. So that has no effect. Oh, you testify that such so and so verdict was finalized. Okay. So that's not something that's going to kill this person. This person was already going to be killed for something else, for what the court had already determined based on the testimony of other witnesses. So the fact that these witnesses prove them to be Zomamim is not going to give them the death penalty because they weren't.
But that's also pshita. See, like they weren't trying to. They weren't conspiring to kill this guy. So why would these guys be killed? So that's obvious, also.
Right. Okay.
No. Am I not getting something?
Well, because maybe this guy hasn't been killed yet, right? He's still on death row or whatever. So maybe maybe there's something got lost, something got confused, and now we're relying on the testimony here. They saying, oh, in this other Beit Din, his verdict was issued. So it's not only that their testimony is not what gives the power to kill him, but it's that the ruling of the court is what creates the death sentence, right? At some point, the power, the locus of the punishment shifts from the witnesses to the court. That's the Gemar Din. So once the Gemar Din takes place, no longer are the witnesses the one who are responsible for the fact that he's going to be executed. And at that point, the consequence is now no longer due to their testimony. So
So if the guy runs away, let's say,
the guy runs away, and now he find him on the street, and
then these guys say, "Oh, we were there, we saw the Gemar Din."
Kansas City, we saw in the Beit Din in Kansas City that they voted that he's getting hereg tomorrow. So
they would kill him based on those guys' testimony.
I would think so under a normal case. And then the fact that they're proven Zomamim, though, is not enough to kill them because actually their testimony is not affecting the execution in the same way.
What is the point that they're even making that testimony?
To get him to be executed. That's what Michael's saying.
They
Meaning, suppose the murderer runs away.
They didn't know that he was already
the second Beit Din doesn't know, right? It's some other Beit Din. He ran away to a different city or something like that, for example.
They're not really proving them Zomamim, right? Because they're just saying it happened on a different day.
Right.
They're not saying, right?
No, but they say Imanu Hayitem on the day that you claim. That's the Zomamim step. The other step is, and also we're testifying that actually the thing that you claim happened did happen, but it happened on a different day. They say both things. Okay.
So what? Where the Zomamim testify that this guy has already been convicted in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And the court in New York is now willing to execute him based on that.
Based on the ruling of the other court, which has been relayed to them by the testimony of these witnesses.
Right.
Right.
But then if the second group comes and says, but the first group was in New York, how could they know what the San Francisco court did?
It ruled, right.
Even though the defendant was already convicted by the first court. If the first set of witnesses couldn't have known that, it seems like the New York court has no basis.
No,
for
but again, remember the
executing.
second set of witnesses say, and his din was nigmar dino on Monday
Okay,
or
so
on
they're
Friday. Their
also
second
saying-
half is testifying about the facts of the case.
Okay.
It happened on a different day. So the point is, if they testify, oh, you killed someone on Sunday, and then they come and say you were with us on Sunday, but the same person killed the same person, but it was on Monday and we saw it.
Yeah.
Then we would execute them based on their testimony, and we would execute them based on their being zomimim. The point is that here the difference is that they're not testifying about the murder; they're testifying about the gemar din. They're testifying about the gemar din. It's enough to be able to kill him 1 degree separation from the first set of witnesses to kill this
Look like
person.
a good Shakespearean play.
There you go. Okay. Okay. And a little bit more practically, and again, it's also interesting, a little detail that maybe we missed is that Rava was talking about what if a murder takes place in Surah and the witnesses were in Neharda? Those are in Bavel. Did they ever do Dinei Nefashos in Bavel? No. Interesting question. Okay. And could they ever have
They can't even do Dinei Knasot in Bavel.
Okay, so this becomes an interesting question. Why is Rava using examples Surah and Neharda?
Like, oh, okay.
Kansas City and New York,
yeah.
right. But it becomes it's interesting. Okay, they probably did Dinei Nefashos in Bavel before the Churban. I don't know. Okay, and the same principle applies to Tashlumei Knas. That is paying to pay a Knas. The same principle. That is, if the Knas has already been, I don't know the words for this in English. Like the court mandates that the person pay the fine. They issue the fine at that point. It's like a gemar din. It's like, so it becomes no longer that the witnesses are testifying about the crime. Now they're just testifying about the ruling of the court. So like this following example, 2 witnesses come and say, so-and-so stole somebody's cow and shechted it or sold it, and that's going to incur the payments of dal v'hei. For a cow, it should be daled. No. Yeah. Yeah. Hey for a cow. Only daled for a sheep. Daled for a sheep. And then 2 more witnesses come and say that actually on Sunday you were with us. Ella betrayed b'shabbat ganav v'tavach v'lachar mishalmim v'lo od. So, and even if they say it was even on Friday, but the point is that the same witnesses have now, instead of a murder, he killed the cow or he sold the cow, so the fine will be paid. Why? At the time that they testified, Gavra la bar tashluminu. At the time that they're testifying, he's not yet been declared to be someone who is obligated to pay this fine. But they testify on Sunday in such and such a court. This person's case was concluded, and he was determined to be someone liable to pay this fine. And then 2 more witnesses come and testify, you were with us on Sunday. Okay, so, and then you're testifying, actually, on Friday, he did it. And the court case was finalized on Friday. Even if they say it was on Sunday, and they say that actually the court case was finalized on Monday, they don't pay. At the time that they're testifying about, that is the time of the gemar din, Gavra bar tashluminu. He's already become a bar tashlumin. That is, the criminal, the defendant, has been slotted into the punishment already. At that point, no longer is it due to the witnesses that the punishment is going to take effect. It's because of the ruling of the court. And they're just testifying about the facts of the case, about did such and such court issue such and such a ruling. So no longer is it through the testimony of the witnesses that the punishment is being effected, and therefore they can't receive that punishment in reciprocity for having been zomim. Okay. Rabbi Yehuda Omer istati hizam. So what is this istati? Okay. And Laura, you said up to the second mission or up to the first mission?
Up to the second mission.
Okay, so that's good. We have time. Okay. So if you say it's an istati, then you should say even the first kat should also not be killed. That is, if you say there's a whole cabal, it's a whole conspiracy, and everyone in multiple sets of witnesses are all tied up in this together, and we shouldn't kill anybody, then as soon as there are multiple sets of zomimim, then we shouldn't kill anybody, according to this objection of Rabbi Yehuda. Okay, so Amar Rabbi Abahu shekadmu v'hargu. No, it must be in a case where, based on the testimony of the first witnesses, they already had executed the murderer, and now the Eidim Zomim are coming later. So So we say, wait a second, if they already killed someone, so then it's already done. So then we can't go back and reevaluate.
Kill him again.
Well, we can't. Not that we can't go back and kill him again, but we can't. But
no, I mean, then you can't do anything.
Right. These witnesses came and they were Zomim, and then we killed them. And then later, people came and testified about them that they're Zomim, and we say, these people are already dead. Okay. Elamar Rava. What does Rava say? If it's only one cod of witnesses, then they'll be killed. Okay. But that Rabbi Yehuda's position is that if there is one set of witnesses, then we'll kill them. But that is two sets of witnesses, one set of Zomimim and one set of Mazimim. But if there are multiple sets, multiple Kitot of Eidim, then we don't kill anybody. So Bilvad Kamar. But he said Bilvad. He said, so why did he say the word Bilvad? So Kasha. Kasha.
Well, I understand the answer. That's not the case. The case is that there are like many people. And Rabbi Yehuda's
well, there are multiple sets of witnesses, right?
The case of the Mishnah was Rabbi Yehuda, so
right. So Rabbi Yehuda says Bilvad. So the point is that Rabbi Yehuda says Bilvad. So it sounds like there were multiple cases. So that's Kasha. We leave that question. It's
I would say to you, no, but meaning like the case of the Mishnah was that there are hundreds of them. And then Rabbi Yehuda's responding to that, isn't he? So Rabbi Yehuda's responding to that. So what's the good answer of the Gemara?
There is no answer. They leave it as a Kasha.
No. But what's the Gemara?
Rava's answer is if there were only one set of witnesses, then Neheragi. That is, there were two sets of witnesses. One to be amazing, the other one.
And if there are more.
And if there are multiple ones, then they won't be killed.
None of them?
None of them, according to Rabbi Yehuda. Oh. And then we say, but wait a second. It says Bilvad, so it says we only kill the first set. So that sounds like there must be, we kill the first set in a case where there are others. Now, you could say, and again, Kasha is sort of not always such a strong answer, which is that, Bilvad, because there's a second set. We would have had no reason to kill these people because there is no third set of witnesses, right? There are just two sets of witnesses, 2 and 1. But so these people are enough to execute these people. We say we kill the first one, Bilvad. So still the Bilvad is not so lot, but
I still don't understand. But my question: why did you kill the last one? Just the last one. In other words, we don't. Yeah, the whole. We don't know. Like,
right.
Everyone's like.
That's a different way to understand Rabbi Yehuda, but he says Rishonah.
I know. I'm saying, why don't we kill the last one?
It's a good question. I'm not sure. Presumably because we think once there's so many different back and forth about these witnesses, now we're starting to get suspicious. Like what's going on?
No, I understand that, but so we're suspicious about everyone else because, like, who knows? But no one disproved the last set. So as far as based on the way we set up our system, they're telling the truth, right?
I guess I don't know.
So we don't know about everyone else because we can't trust anyone else by now.
Yeah.
But we know that the last ones are lying based on the
second to last
ones.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not sure. I have to look into it. Okay. He is the Atai Sade. There was a woman that witnesses came.
There's a little note there. I don't know if it's helpful. We have to suggest the actual answer is that the citation of Rabbi Yehuda's statement on mission is somewhat inaccurate. Needs to be amended to read, they are not executed unless the Hazamah of witnesses discredit only the first set of witnesses alone. Is that helpful to them?
I'm not sure it helps us. I have to research a little bit more. It's a bit of an interesting question. It doesn't seem to be what the Gemara is interested in, which is why it's a good question. We'll take further research. Okay. So there was a woman about whom witnesses came to testify. The ishtakur, and they became proven to be lying. Rashi says ishtakur, hichishu zedzeh. Sets of witnesses were disagreeing or contradicting each other, but drishot beitin. So when the court is cross-examining the witnesses, the witnesses are shown to contradict each other. So aite sadeh, the ishtakur. So they brought further witnesses about this case, and they were also shown to be contradicting each other. So Azla, so she left. And then she brought more witnesses, who didn't contradict each other. Amar Rish Lakish, Rish Lakish says, in such a case, now she's already been shown that this case that she's trying to bring witnesses about is a case about whom the witnesses are all contradicting each other. It sounds like we're already suspicious.
It was twice.
It's already twice that we're suspicious. So the third time she briefed the witnesses first and said, okay, give the same answer to the questions, and then already it was too late.
It also depends on when the chazak is 2 or 3.
Right. It also depends on the chazak is 2 or 3. So here it sounds like, according to Rish Lakish, it's enough to have a chazak of 2. Rabbi Lazar says back, im hi huchzaka kol Yisrael mimi huchzaku. So if she's huchzak, then but still, meaning that we would still be suspicious about that. Are we going to really we're going to doubt the testimony that every single
these are different people now.
They're different people, the different testimony. We're going to say that these witnesses are assumed to be lying just because the woman who they're testifying about we have suspicions about. We shouldn't be suspicious of these witnesses because then you're going to cast every witness's reliability into doubt. So Zimnin Havayate Kamid Rabbi Yochanan. There was a time when they were sitting before Rabbi Yochanan. Ata Ki Haimai Silakamai. Who such a case came before Rabbi Yochanan? So it's interesting. We're dealing with now all different Amoraim of Eretz Yisrael. Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Elazar and Rish Lakish. So Amar Rish Lakish Huchzak Azov. So Rish Lakish said, "Oh, she's muchzak already to be tampering with the witnesses." Amar Rabbi Yochanan said back to Rish Lakish, "Im Huchzak Azov Kol Yisrael Mimi Huchzaku." So that must be where Rabbi Elazar got it from. So Hadar Chazil Rabbi Elazar showed. So they saw that Rabbi Elazar was embarrassed. So Amar
Why was he embarrassed?
Why
was he embarrassed? Elazar said the same thing. Was he embarrassed because, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he was embarrassed. 1 second.
He gave the same point as him.
Oh no! Rabbi Elazar saw Chazid Rabbi Elazar that Rabbi Elazar is upset that Rish Lakish is upset because what happened? Because Rabbi Elazar and Rish Lakish had a machloket, and then they asked it to Rabbi Yochanan to hechzir Rish. Look at Rashi. Hechzir Rish Lakish et panav and istakel Rabbi Elazar bepanim zoafot. So Rish Lakish was upset, and he glared at Rabbi Elazar. Shehevin Rish Lakish sheshamar Rabbi Elazar davar zeh mipi Rabbi Yochanan k'she'amar lo amra bishmo. So he's upset because Rish Lakish learned so much of his Torah from Rabbi Yochanan. So Rish Lakish, and again, Rish Lakish often disagrees with Rabbi Yochanan, but at least in this case, it sounds like Rish Lakish would have been willing to disagree with Rabbi Elazar. But had he heard this halacha from Rabbi Yochanan, he would have retracted his opinion. So here he's upset that Rabbi Elazar did not quote Rabbi Yochanan, and therefore
making it sound as if it's his own opinion.
Right. So Rabbi Elazar is embarrassed that he's.
No, I think Bishop meaning like Rish Lakish was looking at him in a disparaging way.
In a disparaging way, but Rabbi Elazar is now upset that because what happened, he didn't quote Rabbi Yochanan for this halacha. Okay. So Amar Le, he says to him, Shemad Mila Mivar Nafcha. So he says, I heard it from somebody else, from outside. I didn't hear it in the name.
No, I thought Rish Lakish was saying to
Bar Nafcha from a blacksmith.
Yeah, no, Rish Lakish saying to Rabbi Elazar, Shamas Mile Bar Nachal, you heard this from Rabbi Yochanan, right. And you didn't tell me that it was Rabbi Yochanan. How can you do that?
So like the Rish Lakish time. So maybe Rish Lakish Amar Rabbi Yehuda. Maybe Rish Lakish's opinion is just like Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yochanan Damar Rabbanan. Rabbi Yochanan is saying like Rabbanan, and it's just a machlokas based on our Mishnah. Amar Lach Rish Lakish Ana da Amri Lach Afilu Rabbanan Alkan Lo Ka Amri Rabbanan. So what will Rish Lakish say? Amar Lach Rish Lakish. Rish Lakish can defend himself and say Ana da Amri Lach, that what I'm saying Afilu Rabbanan. My opinion is even within the Rabbanan's position. Alkan Lo Ka Amri Rabbanan Hatam. So in our Mishnah, the Rabbanan's position, that is, we would kill all of the multiple kitot of witnesses, right? Okay. Because you can't go back. Aval hacha, in our case, the case of the woman with the multiple sets of witnesses, it's possible to go back on it because it's not because we're not going to invest. We could investigate these witnesses more, find out more. We still have the drishot available to us. Rabbi Yochanan will say, my opinion is even according to Rabbi Yehuda. So Rabbi Yehuda's position in the Mishnah was only when it was applying to everyone. So in this case, habu kaime. In this case, they're already like in front of us. In our case, we already know about these witnesses and about the testimony. And the fact is that they're contradicting each other in the drishot. So it's clear that who was aware of the testimony and who was not. So it's not a case where we have no information about the different groups of witnesses. We've actually reached a point where we have other information that's causing us to be suspicious. And that's why Rabbi Yochanan would say, even according to Rabbi Yehuda, we would be more suspicious about the later witnesses. Okay. Next Mishnah. Ein ha'edim zomim neheragim ad shigamer hadin. The edim zomim should not be executed until the gemar din has been issued. Shaharei hatzedukim omrim ad sheyeharei. The tzedukim say we don't provide the reciprocal capital punishment for edim zomim unless the defendant has actually been executed. The rabbinic tradition is not that. The rabbinic tradition is only between if they're proven to have been zomimim between the Gemar Din and before the defendant has been executed. Okay? So Shaharei Hatzukim Amrim Shaharei Shenemar Nefesh Tachat Nafesh, because they quote the pasuk that you take a life for a life. They killed him, so then they should be killed reciprocally. Okay, Amru Lahem Chachamim. So the rabbinic rabbis return to the Tzedukim and say, the pasuk says you have to do according to what the conspiracy was against his colleague, against his friend. The point is that the brother is still alive. So why does the pasuk say a life for a life? So it's to suggest to you, no, you can't, that we shouldn't execute them from the time of the Kabbalat Edut. So we have time points, Kabbalat Edut, then we have the Gemar Din, and then we have the Hereg. So the point is that Chachamim say during this period is when you can have Zomimim, but not here. Okay? Not between the Kabbalat Edut and the Gemar Din. So that's what Nefesh Tachat Nafesh teaches you, is not here, because the life wasn't yet forfeit yet.
And the Tzedukim are to the right.
Right, the Tzedukim say only, we'll say the Tzedukim are over here.
So at the moment, nobody is to the left of that.
Right, but this is the Havamina that the pasuk Nefesh Tachat Nafesh comes to reject. Okay. The point is that you only kill this person until the Gemar Din. What's fascinating about this is actually that it's very much in conversation with other Mishnayot about the significance of the Gemar Din for a person's status as quote-unquote dead man walking. I gave a Devar Torah about this a few years ago. The Mishnayot in Arachin and in other places discuss what if someone takes an erech for themselves from between their Gemar Din as they're going to be executed. And the point is that such a case, and there's a little bit of a machloket about it, or different ways to read the Mishnah, but basically that at such a point, in many ways, a person is already, their life is forfeit, and in other ways, not necessarily. So, but the point is that the sense that the Gemar Din already creates a legal status of dead man walking in a way that has consequences, like for here that we say, oh, that's enough to make it so that these people get the capital punishment. If this person already gets executed, after the execution, the case is already totally finished. We can't go back and revisit the testimony anymore. So that's what's interesting about this principle. Okay, so the Gemara says, Tana Beribi. Beribi said, Omer, lo hargu neheragin. If they didn't kill him, then they'll be executed. Hargo ein neheragin. If they killed him, then they shouldn't be executed. Amar Aviv. So his father says, so Beribi is probably Rabbi Yehuda, the son of Rabbi, which is why I forget, or there's a bit of some kind of machloket about who he is, but his father is Rabbi. So he says, Amar Aviv, Bini, Lav Kal Vachomer, who is it not a Kal Vachomer? So Amar Lo, Limadatan Rabbeinu, didn't you teach me, that is my father, Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, why didn't you teach me, She'ein onshim min adin, that we can't punish people based on a Kal Vachomer? Tanya, Ish asher yikach et achoto bat aviv bat imo, a man who has a sexual relationship with his father's daughter or his mother's daughter. Ein li ela bat aviv shelo bat imo shelo bat aviv. I could only infer from this either a paternal sister who is not a maternal sister, or that is only half sisters. So how do I know that a full sister you also would be executed for? Timon Lamar ervat achoto gila, that he uncovered his sister's nakedness. Ad shelo yamar. So why did the Torah have to be explicit about that? It must prove that's the principle that ain't onshim min hadin, that we can't execute someone just based on a kal vachomer. Ad shelo yamar yesh li bedin, so that you can't say, oh, I could just derive it from kal vachomer. Ima anashal bad aviv shelo bad imo shelo bad aviv. Bad aviv vatimo local shekain. So I couldn't have learned it from kal vachomer that if a half sister I would be executed for, then a full sister by kal vachomer. Halalata shein onshim min hadin. So I learned that this way. So onesh shamanu azhar minayin. So that's where I learn about the onesh, the actual punishment, but azhara, right? Because every capital crime has to be mentioned twice in the Torah, once for the punishment and once for the prohibition. So minayin Talmud Lamar ervat achotcha bat avicha uvatimecha. So the pasuk also says the nakedness of your sister, who is either your father's daughter or your mother's daughter. I would only think a half sister, either paternal or maternal. Bat aviv uvat imo minayin. How do I know full sister? It says that she's your sister. So that I can't say I can derive it from a kal vachomer ma'im huzar abad imo shelo bad aviv uvad aviv shelo bad imo. So I can say that the warning is against either the half sister who is the mother's daughter or the father's daughter. For a half sister, so couldn't I derive it that a full sister should be from kal vachomer? And I can even learn not only ein onshin min hadin, that I can't derive the punishment from kal vachomer, but also you can't even derive the azhara, the prohibition from kal vachomer for a capital crime. Okay, so chayv malkut minayin. How do I know then about corporal crimes that receive only malkot? Where do I learn it from? Rasha. I learn it from a gezerah shava, from the word rasha. That is the connection we mentioned yesterday already. The gezerah shava that connects Makkot to capital punishments. So chayvi galios minayin. How about for manslaughter cases that would go into exile? So atia rotzeach. It's learned from a gezerah shava, from the word rotzeach, that a manslaughter is still called a murderer, and that connects into a real murder case where it would be a capital crime. So Tanya, Amar Rabbi Yehuda ben Tavai. Sorry, excuse me. Okay. Rabbi Yehuda ben Tavai said, "Er'eh ben Achama imlo haragti eid zomim." So Rabbi Yehuda ben Tavai said, "Er'eh ben Achama," like I should merit to see the times of Mashiach that I didn't kill an eid zomim. Hotzimi liban shel tzedukim. To contradict the opinion of the Tzedukim, Shahayu Amrim, Ein Edim Zomim Neharagim Ad Sheharega Nidon. Because the Tzedukim said that we should kill the Edim Zomim, we should not kill the Edim Zomim only until they kill the defendant, and therefore Rabbi Yehuda ben Tavai said I actually executed the. It's hard to parse. I think he's saying that they actually killed the Edim Zomim in order even before the execution, and that's to contradict the Tzedukim. So Shimon ben Shetach said, "Erev Nechamim lo shafachta dam naki." But Shimon ben Shetach said, like he swears that you didn't spill the innocent blood. Because the Chachamim said Edim Zomim cannot be executed until both of them are proven to be Zomim. And you can't give them Makkot until you prove that both of them are Zomim. Miyad kibel alav. Rabbi Yehuda ben Tavai she'ino moreh hora'ah ela lifnei Shimon ben Shetach. So Yehuda ben Tavai deferred to Shimon ben Shetach's authority. That Shimon ben Shetach's opinion was even more above his. V'chol yamav shel Rabbi Yehuda ben Tavai haya mishtatach al kibro shel oto ha'ed, and his whole life he would go do prostrations on the grave of that witness, the Eid Zomim, who he had killed because he didn't follow the opinion of Rabbi Shimon ben Shetach. And everyone heard his voice crying, and they thought that it was that people sort of made up an urban legend that it was the voice of the one who was falsely put to death. Amar Koli Sheli, who, so he said it's actually my voice. Who made Ein Kolon Ishma, because they said whoever dies the next day he's not going to be able to be heard. Amar Le Rav Acha Brei did Rav Ashi. So many hundreds of years later, Rav Acha, the son of Rava, said to Rav Ashi, Dilban bedina kam behedya inami payuse paise. So if in such a case, so even if it was bedina kam behade, that it was just that he went up against him, nonetheless he still has room to appease him. Okay, so that's a good place to stop. Gloria is going to pick up for tomorrow's daf. Everyone should have Shabbat Shalom and a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
That's like an over 500-year time difference there.
Uh-huh.
Dan?
But they knew the story.